Hey guys, it's Miss Mesker here. I am recording this video to teach you about pie charting, and that's how we show how energy is conserved in a closed system. And let's get started. So, the first step to pie charting, I'm going to flip my keyboard around so you're not going to see my face anymore, but you can see what I'm doing on my screen. So the first thing we're going to do in pie charting, the first step, I'm going to write it on the side, is we are going to identify what energies we're going to be working with. In the majority of cases, we're only going to be working with two energies, in pie charting, two energies. So that's our first step. Our second step is we're going to make a key because we need to say what colors are what energies. I can't just color in a pie chart and not tell you what color means what. So make energy key is our third step, is our second step, and our third step is to fill in the pies. And we're going to do that one energy at a time. All right, so in this first example, I have a ball being dropped to the floor from a height. So I'm going to assume that this first pie is being held up high before being dropped. And it looks like the ball falls to right before it hits the ground. So pie 4 is right before it hits the ground. So the two energies that I'm going to be dealing with is I have height, so I'm going to be doing some PEG. Remember, if anything has height above ground, it has potential gravitational energy. And my other energy looks like it's going to be mechanical energy because this ball is moving on the way to the ground. So I'm going to set my background so it doesn't move on me. So our other energy is going to be KEM. K-E, my pen is not cooperating, there it goes, M. All right, so again, I made my key, I identified my energies and made my key, so I have done steps 1 and 2 already. So my third step is to fill in the pies. So at my very first pie, this top one, it's at its highest point, and it's right before it probably leaves this person's hand. So I'm going to give it full potential gravitational energy because it's not moving yet. So I'm going to make sure that I show that by filling in the pie completely with gravitational energy. So this is 100% gravitational. My whole pie is filled in with that green color for PEG. The next ball down looks like it's a little bit shorter, doesn't have as much height. So since it doesn't have as much height, I'm not going to give it as much gravitational energy. I'm going to cut off like 1/4 of the height because it looks like it's 1/4 of the way to the ground to me. So there's my PEG for the second one. The third one looks about halfway down, so since it's half the height, I'm going to give it half the PEG. And then the bottom one doesn't really have any height, at least no height that we can measure, so we're going to say that there's no PEG in that fourth pie. So now that I have my PEG done, I'm going to do my KEM. So what's happening in this scenario is the ball is dropping from a height, so as it falls, it's losing PEG because that PEG is transforming into KEM. So as we fall, we lose our height energy and we gain moving energy. So we're going the fastest right before we hit the ground at the lowest point where we have the most kinetic mechanical energy. All right, so I'm going to relook at my pies, make sure that they make sense. I see that my gravitational is decreasing, which makes sense because I'm losing height. And I have my kinetic mechanical increasing as I go down, which makes sense because we gain speed as we continue to fall. All right, so that's an example of a pie chart. In this case, our total amount of energy always is at 100%, so my pie is always completely filled in because this is a closed system. Again, we use pie charting for only closed systems, and that means energy cannot get in or get out. So we talk about total energy staying the same because the system is closed. All right, I'm going to do one more example for you guys, and then that'll be the end of this video. So I'm going to talk about this problem right here. Sorry, I had to find it. So again, our 3 steps are: 1, identify your energies. 2, make your key. And 3, fill in your pies. 1 energy at a time. Okay, so in this example, I have a ball rolling on the ground, but it's rolling across a rough floor. Let me circle that rough floor for you. So our moving energy will be kinetic mechanical. And that rough floor, if you go back to our green keyword sheet, we talked about rough floor being a sign to you all to think about thermal energy, because that rough floor is going to slow down our ball much quicker because it's going to create more friction with the ground. So I'm going to make my key. I'm going to have kinetic mechanical be pink, and I'm going to have thermal be yellow. So my initial pie, I'm going to say it's like right when it hit the ground, so it's rolling really fast. Barely had time yet to make any thermal energy, so I'm going to give it 100% KEM because it's moving so fast. But what's happening is our ball is slowing down. So this next pie, since it's slower, I need to have less KEM, and I'm going to say since it's halfway to stopped, I'm going to give it about half the kinetic mechanical. And then our third ball is almost stopped, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of kinetic mechanical energy. And then our fourth pie says stopped. So if I'm stopped, I don't have any kinetic mechanical. I'm not moving at all, so I'm not going to have any in that fourth pie. So now since I have my mechanical done, I'm going to go in and fill in the rest of my pies with thermal. So what's happening in this situation is all of our kinetic mechanical is quickly turning into kinetic thermal due to the rough floor. So we're getting a ball rolling to a stop because all of its moving energy, kinetic mechanical, is turning into heat energy. And heat energy doesn't make us go, so that's why the ball stops. So my answer to number 5 is KEM is transforming, oh pen, KEM is transforming into KET. So we're losing movement for heat, basically. I'm not going to write that. It doesn't make, well, my pen's not working very well. So again, I'm just taking the keywords to identify my energies, and then based on the picture is how much I'm giving them. So since it's moving really fast over here, I gave it all KEM, and since it's halfway to stopped, I gave it half KEM, and this is almost stopped, so I just gave it a little. And then whatever is not KEM is KET because we only have 2 energies. So there you have it, a couple examples of pie charting. Please make sure you check the content library to look at practice 1 1 and practice 2, if you've been absent, to practice those and check your answers. And come see me during Spartan time or before after school if you have any questions that need to be addressed. Thanks for watching, guys.